Hi muckers and welcome to the new Chronically Online podcast. Before we get in, I have a really exciting announcement, which is I am going on tour in February, and if there are any muckers in Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, LA, Dallas, I will be there in February. It is also called the Chronically Online Tour. I'm so excited. It is going to be the most deranged night of your entire life. Tickets are available down below. I will see you all hopefully in February. Again, that is Brooklyn, Chicago, Seattle, LA, and Dallas. I hope you enjoy the podcast. And again, they both have same names, Chronically Online Podcast and the Chronically Online Tour. I'm super excited. So hopefully see you in February. Tickets are available down below. Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome back to the Chronically Online Podcast. Now, why are you shaking your head already?
Because you're a professional, that's why. Because you said we're going to lock in right now and you just, bam, no hesitation, you just nailed it right off the bat.
I have been basically living in this studio at a certain stage, Jake, so I know exactly when to lock in. Anyways, today we're joined with Jake Weddle. Hello.
Hello. Oh, it is so wonderful to be here in LA, but also here with you and here with everybody. I am on cloud nine. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you coming out. So we met for the first time last night.
Yes.
Which was really fun. And first of all, I really loved the bar that we went to.
Great bar.
It was some like random ass, like dingy bar, but like honestly, the vibe was great. And also, the bartender just randomly starts backflipping.
Okay, no, not randomly. Okay, no. So I'm just talking to him because I'm going, hey, what's like around? I don't know the area. I just got here. He's telling me all the spots. And so we're just like talking and he tells me he's also a stuntman. And I was like, oh yeah? And then you walk up, he goes, watch this. And he flips.
Not kidding. He literally just does this in the middle of the fucking bar. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to tip for that or like, I don't necessarily know what. And everyone was just kind of like.
Yeah, because nobody else knew what was going on. So everybody else was just like,
It was so goddamn shocking, but I was like, yes. Anyways, you are currently out in LA. You arrived yesterday,
yes.
And you're here for how long?
Until I fly out on the 19th, so 18th is the last full day. So.
Okay, and you said that this is your first time in LA, right?
First time in LA, first time in California, first time on this coast, yes.
Okay, I was giving a little bit of lore to Jake on how this is going to be the most chaotic trip of your entire life because it's always the thing that your first trip in LA is always such a mind fuck, and you're meeting a lot of creators, you're meeting a lot of people when you're out here. Just a little bit of advice, good fucking luck.
No, here's the thing, it is like such a chaotic but you've merely adapted the darkness. Mm-hmm. I was born in it. This chaos energy, I've been thriving. I've been in New York like trying to meet my schedules, trying to meet my deadlines.
Yeah.
Everything today worked out, and it was stuff I didn't have planned, and all the schedules were because I was just, you gotta lean into the chaos, and then you make all your dates.
Well, you're originally from where?
North Carolina.
And before I get into all those technical questions, is it called Buc-ee's? The food place that you were talking about? What is that?
Oh, Bojangles.
Oh, okay. That was the one that I think I tried in the North Carolina airport, right?
Yes.
Okay. We were talking about this because you were talking about getting it when you were in the airport coming over to LA, right?
Get Buc-ee's.
Is Buc-ee's a thing? Did I just
I don't know if it's a thing, but I like the idea of a rival generic store that's across the street like the Chum Bucket, and they're going to steal the formula.
Wait, so it's Bojangles.
Bojangles. Sometimes I say Bojangles because I have to put a little stank on it. But
okay,
I'm
supposed to Bojangles.
Bojangles.
Sounds a little bit more fun. I tried it for the first time whenever I was going to Tennessee, and it was like a bun instead of like a burger, but it was like a chicken sandwich or something, but it was like a biscuit on top or something.
Yeah, the Cajun filet biscuit combo. Yeah.
Okay, so we are thinking about the same place.
Yeah, Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit combo. You get a large fry sweet tea, extra Cajun seasoning. You get the honey mustard. Good. Get the honey mustard, dude.
I didn't try the honey mustard.
Oh, I have some at my house. I brought some from, not from home. I brought some from New York, from North Carolina, because I ordered a tub of it online personally.
Jesus Christ. Hashtag gifted.
Hashtag gifted.
Wait, so when you were growing up, how big is your city? This really tells me a lot about a person.
So I'm from North Carolina, which is in the South, like technically, but like I lived in one of those cities in the South, which can be, purpley, a little more. I grew up in a suburb, very generic, that type of vibe, but I was able to go to comedy clubs or comedy club. Yeah. There's a few in the area. In North Carolina, if you're willing to drive like 5 hours, you can do stand-up every night, but you got to be willing to traverse, across almost to the Piedmont.
Yeah.
But I love driving. You go over your set in your head on the way there.
What age did you get your driver's license?
What?
What age did you get your driver's license?
Oh, not till 18. I didn't get it till I was,
Well, that seems young. Every one of my friends, like, we don't have our driving license and we're all in our fucking 20s. I feel like for Americans, it's so common to get it like 16
Because
to
you
18.
have to, because the way they build this, if you don't have the stuff built a certain way, they don't want you to be a pedestrian. You gross. You forget a car. Buy a car.
LA's so fucking unwalkable as well.
Yeah, no, I realized that while trying to walk to the bar. Yeah, I should have Ubered that 3 minutes instead.
Well, let me tell you something. My Uber bill from this trip, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's going to be my biggest expenditure probably, is the Ubers.
I add everything up. Hotels, travel, everything. You don't fucking think of the Uber. So wait, when you were growing up, what immediately got you into the comedy scene? Like,
so I feel like I've told the story a couple of times, so I love spreading the lore. I'm good at telling the story.
I love a bit of lore.
It sounds fake. Like, it sounds like, because
You better not lie to me, motherfucker.
No, I'm telling you exactly what happened, and then like, it's gonna sound narrativized because it was like cool, like when it happened. And it's like a memory in my head, I'm gonna tell it how I remember it. I remember there was a night. This is the first time I ever saw stand-up comedy ever in my life. Storm. It was outside my house. It was back when, you remember when, is there a camera I can look? Remember TVs had antennas? Right. So the storm knocked out like the all but 2 channels on the cable, and those 2 channels were like Food Network and Comedy Central, so in a different life, I was Rosanna, I could have gone that other way, or I'm doing the But no, I remember it was like a Dat fan special, which I know people like. If you're like a deep comedy lore, you go, oh, Dat fan special, whatever. I was like in 3rd grade going, what? You can do that? He was like just doing bits about how his Asian parents sound Asian, and I'm like, that's all. What?
Oh,
that's
God.
yeah. It's a little. I was in 3rd grade. I thought that was what's this thing you can do?
Yeah.
I fell in love with it, and then I was just watching Comedy Central, those 30-minute specials. The Jon Stewart, he's huge. Trying to think of what else. I did my first show at 14.
Damn.
I was doing, I was writing in middle school because Demetri Martin was huge. I was drawing at the time, so I was doing those visual drawing gags.
Yeah.
And I switched that to the written stuff, and I was at Good Nights Comedy Club, the home club, and I'm actually going to be headlining there with Ben Malone at the end of the tour.
Oh, damn.
So that's like the really, really sweet like button at the end of that is that the last show we do, we're going to co-headline the home club after you worked on your material the whole time too. It's the polished. It's the last show. Yeah. So that show is going to be great. It's November something. I want to say 17th.
I'll have it down below.
Oh, awesome.
This will be coming out before it.
Perfect. Oh, thank God. This comes out a year ago. Year after. It's going to be a great show. You guys should come to it.
Wait, so when you did your first show at 14, how did you immediately get in the door? Was it like an open mic?
It was an open mic. It was the second, a lot of open mics, not just, just everywhere. There's like the bucket style, there's the sign up ahead of time, there's the litany of types of mics. But this one was, you show up, you sign up ahead of time. I think at the time, even if you signed up, they do like a raffle from that.
Yeah.
Didn't get up the first time. Devastated. It was my birthday, actually. It was my 14th birthday. I was like, I'm going to go up on the
shitty ass birthday.
No, it was next time. It was the week after. I go back the next Wednesday. And I go up that time, and it was good. It was a good set, but I do feel like it was because the novelty of being the kid in the room.
Yeah.
There was a handful of us.
You got away with everything.
Yeah, and I was raunchy too. I was like, my parents are weird, and then I would do like a dick bit, and they're like, well, you shouldn't say that. That child has to go to school. And there was a few of us like that in North Carolina. Like a lot of people who are like, starting to get their build up now. I know Maddie Wiener's huge. She was doing it like way as a child in North Carolina. I'm trying to think of Caleb Elliott, Sam Prickett. There was Kenyon Adamczyk. These are all like North Carolina comics. There was like just a bunch of babies doing stand-up that should have been in like middle school, like juvie, instead of
they
doing
should have been
stand-up.
at the club.
Yeah, if they weren't at the club, they'd be on the street slinging like drugs. So thank God the club, they had 2 options. And sometimes it was both.
Yeah. A little bit. I mean, you can do both.
You got to get by.
Wait, so when you were doing shows from 14, were you doing them on a consistent basis or was it a little bit?
Well, I mean, when you're a kid, it's kind of hard to, keep that up, I guess. Yeah, you have to, Dad, can I go to the mic?
Yeah.
There's one mic that was a decent club near me in North Carolina. So I went to that every week when I could. The biggest breaks I took when I was in the school play. So sorry, everybody. Tim the Enchanter had to get the spam a lot.
Were you a theater kid?
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
I'm going to give you 2 guesses. Of course. Yeah. I didn't get into theater until that was another thing where
they
I was like,
didn't let you into theater?
No, I thought they didn't let me. I was like my dad kept me away from anything cultured,
Fair.
Stand up was the only thing that was the performance art that was like the least. Oh, it's not gonna make him gay. It's fine. You can go do that. Yeah. I was singing High School Musical songs in like my youngest sibling's birthday party, but then I was like, oh, you gotta get him to sports. Oh no, he's doing that. I was like, I want to do stand up. They were like, okay, that's fine.
Somehow you were a gayer kid than I was. I'm not even kidding.
I had fun. But we would do the, what was it called? I'm trying to make sure I have the train of thought. So we're theater kid. Okay, so the theater kid, once I found out that like that was a possibility too, because I wasn't like able to be, hey, here's an option, you know, I was forced into sports and wasn't good at those.
Yeah.
So I found theater as a thing like sophomore year of high school. And then, you know, that's all she wrote for that. Started doing the plays after that. And then I did do theater in college as well. So a lot of theater, a lot of studying comedy. I did swim team too, but that doesn't matter as much.
Damn, you were booked and busy.
Oh, sure. I mean, I had enough time to play way too much Halo 3. I mean,
Fair. Wait, when you were doing theater, were you doing shows or was it just like kind of like improv?
we did classes. I was fortunate enough to go to a magnet school, so it was a school that
I
was
thought you were
nicer.
going to say MagCon. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what it is. What was that?
You know MagCon? Like the little teenage boys that like pander towards like the young girl audience, like Cameron.
Oh
Dallas and
yes.
stuff like
No,
that.
I don't know who that is. Actually, of course I don't. I have no idea what that is. No. You know what? I'm glad I didn't know what that was. What, you trying to get me to gotcha? You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm kidding.
Wait, so what were you doing? Shows or improv?
There was classes where you were just doing like theater class where you do scenes in class, you learn about theater.
God, that always seems so awkward. That seems so American to me.
Oh yeah, it was very. That's so funny. I was doing that in the South, so it was still like a Republican teacher. It was so. I love two things: Star Trek and guns. You
I
know,
was going to say, I can imagine those role plays were crazy.
So it was a little bit of that, but it was also we would do shows like 2 a year, we would do it was the fall play and then the spring musical, so 2 a year. The spring musical. That's American as fuck.
I was about to say, you're seeing so many American things when it comes to theater. We would just do a pantomime at the end of every fucking year.
That's so funny. Yeah. I'm not Friday Night Lights. I'm literally Glee. It's the other way around. I never saw Glee, unfortunately. I lived it. I'm kidding. We also I did improv as well. I did improv a little bit in high school, but like barely. I did do more improv in college. I ended up becoming the president, captain, whatever, dictator. I'm kidding. Of the improv group. That was a lot of fun because that was just a good group of people. You would have the whole theater, like the school of theater, come to the shows, and we would do college campuses and stuff.
They were literally held hostage to come to the shows.
No, it's almost like we were held hostage. They were like, dance for us. This is our favorite. They're drunky. The whole school of theater and dance is drunk as shit in like one of the rooms. It was a really good time. And improv is probably one of my weakest skills when it comes to like the ensemble. You know, because my background was stand up. So I can spew bits, but I got the chivalry, the working well with, this scene you're the highlight, but this scene you're the highlight. It's being mindful of everybody else. I just punched in every direction.
Well, when you're saying improv again, this is so American to me. What exactly were you doing? Were you literally just like given scenarios and you had to like perform it? Or
for improv, it was we did a mix of short form and long form. The improv purists will say we're hacks for doing short form, but I think short form's fun. It's crowd pleasing. You're looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about?
I don't know any of these terminologies that you're saying.
I just saw the fucking. Can you talk about sports
but I'm
instead?
smiling and nodding.
That's so I'm outgaying you so hard.
I'm learning so much.
But the short form was just like, whose line is it anyway? You know, like scenes from a hat, that kind of stuff. And then long form is like the Herald, where you're developing characters and the callbacks. That's more of like building a play in real life, in real time. And long form was very, very difficult because it involved a lot of remembering and calling back a bit from before that. And I was always, you get less and less and less anxious. And I was always more confident doing stand-up than I was in improv for some reason. I think it was because improv, you are not prepared at all. And stand-up, you can get so hyper prepared. It's like, oh, I know this set like the back of my hand.
Yeah.
You know, but improv, it's like, I could eat shit right now. And you did.
So when did you switch more so towards like stand-up and comedy?
I was always more stand-up. I just kind of did a little bit of improv too.
Yeah.
But stand-up was always the main thing. And now I'm kind of writing a lot more, which is good because stand-up was able to get me some writing work.
Yeah.
And the writing work I've done has been in YouTube.
Yeah.
And there have been some YouTubers that I love. And those YouTubers are usually YouTubers that let me use my stand-up skills a little more.
Yeah.
Like the script writing, the storytelling, narrative structure, where I'm writing tiny little screenplays, writing tiny little comedy skits, you know. That kind of YouTube writing I have thoroughly enjoyed. And then there's the other stuff where it's like kind of like reality TV-esque, where we're just kind of coming up with different ideas for different scenarios. You know, we got the main cast of whatever the show is, whatever your ensemble. We're putting them in what's a silly situation where they can go, whoa. Yeah.
So when did you start getting the introduction to the YouTube work in general? Like when did that world, how do you go from doing all the improv, the comedy, the stand-up to now doing like all the YouTube stuff?
Well, it was just right place, right time. Honestly, I was doing YouTube a little bit like privately. It was like no one was allowed to watch it. This is just for me. It was like my friends would shoot videos and they would try to be. My friend was an editor, so he was trying to figure out how to edit stuff, and I wanted to. And he's still my editor today. Actually, we grew up together.
He's still the same one.
Still, he does. He did the most of my recent videos. It depends on time or like what type of video I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The stand-up comedy breakdowns, where I'm just kind of talking about like stand-up comedy structure or stand-up comedy philosophy, I guess. He edited those, and they're so much more polished.
Yeah.
Because we've just worked together for a long time, and I know his sense of humor, he knows mine.
Yeah.
Other ones I edited, and those are the ones that are you're like, there's a little more of a you feel you're getting like the real. It's because I don't know how to add bells and whistles. You're getting my authentic.
Well, how do you feel about not having control of the edit? Because I was speaking to someone right before this who was saying that they really enjoy having control of the edit. So how does that feel when you have an editor?
I don't know because I trust that editor so much. It's not that I don't have control. I tell him exactly what I want, and he brings it back to me perfectly because we get each other that much. New editors, there's a learning curve.
Yeah.
And I sometimes do work with, thankfully, with all the stuff that's been happening, the people who have been like, let me show some support in this way. I can do some thumbnail support, some editing support. There is, when you haven't worked with somebody before, you have to learn how to work with somebody. If someone's bad on day one, get him out of here. Well, give him a second. Yeah. He hasn't got good yet. Yeah. He hasn't figured it out,
It's also hard to understand someone's dynamic really quickly as well, which is a big thing in terms of their content, what they would and wouldn't include.
Yeah. Understanding their comedic voice, being able to emulate their comedic voice, not only just in the writing, but in the edit. Like that's all timing, that's all tone. And those are things that like visually communicating those things is so like, you don't think about when you're watching.
Yeah.
When you're watching a video, you're just like, haha, that's funny. But you don't realize the team of people that were working together to make that, unless you're you and you just have your,
I was about to say, there's no fucking team going on here, I'll be honest.
That's so funny. It makes it all so polished. You're just uploading every day? Awesome. That's so good. I'm not uploading every day at all, I gotta tell you. You're making all the money by yourself. Okay, great. You don't share with anybody? Good. Awesome. Great. Cool. When are we done? I'm curious. I was
about to say, you're the one getting fucked, not me. Serves you right.
No, I'm having fun. I like what I'm doing.
So what age was it then that you really started getting into whether it was writing, script writing, editing for YouTube? Like what kind of age was that? So we've established like 14 was when you're starting to get into like the comedy stand-up scene.
Yeah.
And then when are we really getting into YouTube?
I think the YouTube boom, I guess, like the first like the wave of people being like, "Whoa, you seen a YouTube video?" That was the like Charlie bit my finger like era, like OG. Like I'm in 5th grade. YouTube's a thing now.
Someone's showing their age right now.
I'm 27 and it shows. The Uber driver was like, "You look a little younger." I said, "You didn't have to add that extra."
Oh my god! Wait,
almost.
Do they have your age attached to your Uber?
Do I? I don't think so. I think did I tell him my age? We were talking comedy.
With it.
I said, hi, here's my mom's maiden name, by the way. It's my Uber. Well, no, it's the Uber driver. This is so funny. We were talking about this a little bit before the thing. I have my trying to get my jokes for the thing before. I was trying to go over I wasn't trying to go over my set. I walked in and I was just being goofy at the guy. I love being goofy at strangers. And he's just, "Hey man, I don't know what you do, but I think you should try stand up." And I said, "Brother, we're on the way to one comedy club. And then we're going to go to another one because I have shows tonight. I appreciate you."
Well, it'd be fucking awful if he said, "Hey, brother, you should really not do stand-up."
Oh, yeah. No, he like rolls the window down, puts some earbuds in. He goes, "Can we do quiet, please?" That'd be,
Well, also, I just want to clarify. This motherfucker sat down on the sofa and he starts fucking writing shit down. And I go, "We're about to film. What the fuck are you doing?" He started working.
I'm only in LA for a little bit. I got to be productive. I got to squeeze every little bit. I'm sorry. I think this is going well.
This little bitch sat down like this and I go, hello.
I go, hold on.
So now it's sitting on the other side of the sofa and it will stay there.
That's so funny to know. Well, before this, I was like, "Oh no, I got to get to the thing." And I'm texting you. Everybody I know is texting you, trying to get the address, and you're just being professional over here.
Sorry, for a little bit of context here. I was filming with Grace Halbig right before this, and I have like a strict thing with people where I'm like, please have your phone on silent, whatever. Like nearing the end of the Grace Halbig thing, I'm like, why the fuck is my chair vibrating? Like, I didn't realize this place have vibrating chairs. And then ultimately, after the podcast, I clock onto the fact that Rosanna Pansino has called me, you've called me, DogPack's called me, and I'm like, have I been canceled?
Wait,
That was
why
when-
is Dawson texting you?
I was like, I
That's
was
so
like,
funny.
my immediate mind went to, something's happened.
What? The mood just shifted.
Oh no! I went, what the fuck?
1,000 voices were just suddenly crying in silence.
Ultimately, I just didn't send the address of where we were.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get here on time. That's all. I don't want to waste your time. You know?
So, all right. When did you start working for other people? When did you start working for like yourself? Was it you started working for yourself in terms of YouTube, and then you kind of segued into working with other people?
So I was never making a profit, but working for myself. No. We got there once briefly, and then right back to not. But it was the YouTube was just fun. You do it when you're a kid. You're uploading stuff. Like it used to be, you would upload stuff with your friends, like home movies, and it was so wholesome.
Yeah.
And now it's like we got a manscaped ad in front of it. But we would do those, and then it would be stand up after that when you were a kid. So it was like the videos, the stand up. You got to go to school.
Yeah.
You know, it's important. You gotta do the school part.
You got to fit that in song.
I gotta go swim practice.
Theater and improv too.
I have no marketable skills. I wasted all the degrees I have learning bits.
Some people don't even have degrees, so you're fine. You're fine. More than me.
It's funny when I was working at MrBeast. I guess we'll start though. Okay. When I was working at MrBeast, I was in college at the time, and I had those grants where in America, school and medicine costs way more money, and you go, bro, you're not shocked. Okay. Well,
What the fuck is this motherfucker talking about?
oh, you don't have medical debt in your place?
I just never went to school.
Oh, okay, got you.
Are you talking about like medical as in like genuine like healthcare?
Oh, I was talking about how in other countries that they have school and healthcare, and here we go. They're like microtransactions.
Oh, fair enough. Like DLC, yeah.
Yeah, it's DLC.
All right, I'm up to speed.
Just delivery, everybody. Sometimes on the fly, you miss it. You guys saw a bomb right there in real time. That's in there. We're gonna leave that in. You're gonna leave that in, right?
Absolutely. You think
Good.
I'm editing this shit?
I'm
You
looking
think I'm
right
editing this shit? Please. Wait, so when did you start working then for MrBeast?
Yeah, I started working at Beast when I was going to school, just because I was going to school in the same city. It was literally so coincidental. Just right place, right time. So I was doing stand-up at a bar called Crossbones Tavern. It does not exist anymore. The shows were awful. That's where I became a comedian. They were just looking for more people. I remember one of the guys that was in the group, they kind of got their foot in the door over there. And then because of that, they were like, oh, well, I know these other guys if you're looking for more creative. And then they came to a show and said, all right, you come here.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've said this lore several times, but this will be seen by the most people. It'll keep being seen by more people.
I can't confidently say that. I can't confidently say it.
If I didn't say this on DogPack, this will be seen by the most amount of people. That is the only other person I can think of who might have this story saved somewhere. But and then when I was at Beast, I was working there doing the background creative work, sometimes in front of the camera, on camera talent work. But when I was there, I was still going to school. And Jimmy was like, "Yo, quit school.
I'll give you $6 million to leave school."
And I was like, "Jimmy, I have student loans for like FAFSA. Those that they double if you fail, or if I quit, my grants turn into loans, and my debts double. So if I don't graduate." He's basically saying, hey, you should double your student loans because I asked. And I finished school. I got my degrees.
I asked 15 people to double their student loans.
Well, yeah, it's literally they did that video, would you quit school for XYZ money? Like that was a title thumbnail.
MrBeast, if you're hiring, I'll go on the script writing team. I'm going to be honest. I have some ideas up here.
Well, that's funny. On my podcast, we had a Ben Malone who was another writer on another team. There was multiple writing teams, and Ben Malone worked at my office worked in the studio in the city, where we were working on like the actual retention. The what's the bits, like what's the if there's a game of hide and seek, or there's an alarm clock in the backpack, that kind of stuff. And then his team was just work. Had the work backwards in the title thumbnail. It was just title ideas, thumbnail ideas, and it was a whole team just putting just the whole. And I got the other writer from the Raleigh team talking about his experience on that team.
Yeah.
And we're just shooting the shit back and forth. So when you were like, "Oh, you'd be on the Raleigh team if that's what you're." Oh, I could come up with those. And then your
Raleigh team, is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was. That was in Raleigh. That was ran by James Warren, the Raleigh team, the Raleigh office.
Are you saying RALLY?
I'm saying R-A. I'm dyslexic. What are you doing? Come on. Don't.
Oh my God,
you're trying to get me in a gotcha so many times.
No, I did the same thing to Rosanna as well. I started spelling something to her for like no reason.
It's like taunting us, right? You're like A, B, C. You see how easy it is?
Wait, you're saying like Raleigh, as in like a
Raleigh,
North
North Carolina. R-A-L. Don't talk. R-A. Don't fuck me up. A-L-E-I-G-H.
All right, we're talking about two different things.
Raleigh.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what Raleigh. I think that's a thing. I don't know what that is.
So what is that team that is coming up with ideas?
It's just title thumbnails. Title thumbnail ideas that would work backwards to content, but as title thumbnail comes first. That's the whole team, title thumbnail. And then they make my team goes, make that 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah. And
that's what we did.
Wait, so you were working there for how long?
Almost 2 years. It was like February 2019 to almost the end of 2020. And then I would supplementally come back for some stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I'm spreading the lore. We're sprinkling the lore.
Wait, so you worked there for a time period. What was like an average like week? Because again, we've seen like the notebooks and stuff.
You gotta give me time. You gotta give me a couple of months because there was so many like booms and busts. There were so many eras. You know,
yeah.
Like when I got there, it was the Jake the Viking, Garrett. That's like the deep cuts. You know, yeah. I like to say that my era of MrBeast is the Chris Farley era of SNL, and if you want to combat that, that's fine.
Fair enough.
But now it's what do they got? They got Nolan Carl. I don't think Chandler's there anymore. But yeah, what was the question? The first one, the how long was I? Oh, the average week.
The average week, yeah.
When I got there, it was that winter. It was very much like he's just the guy, just running around with the camera. That's cool. It felt very human. Felt very like this is just running around just being silly. It's awesome. Yeah. This is what YouTube. Yep. And then that summer of 2019, where it was just like just crazy stupid. The Area 51 thing. Remember that?
I do remember that actually.
Yeah. Why am I there? I shouldn't be there.
The question is, why would you not be there?
I gotta find this vet. They're gonna stop me from putting this out. We did like a Naruto bit. That I wrote, that I really, because they were Naruto running during the thing, Yeah. I thought it was apropos. I thought, it might be a little cringe, but yeah, so is Naruto running Area 51,
Yeah.
And so they filmed it and they hated it. I have it. I'll put that somewhere. It's me and Ava. It's probably not gonna age well. Me and Ava dressed up as Naruto costumes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if that one's aged well.
I'll never see that in a court of law.
Oh my God.
Can you identify as, oh God, no.
Wait, so when you were there for a while, you left and then came back for the video that you ended up speaking about, or what was the timeline there?
So I left, fired. It's usually MrBeast is always mutual breakups. It's always I hate you, good. And then you find a person who really cares about you later.
That's what I say about relationships. This was a mutual decision.
We both, makes you feel better later.
We just grew apart.
when you go, I want to break up, the other one goes, okay. Oh, you're gonna say okay? Yeah, good. Fuck. But yeah, so that was disagreements with, pay and how that goes about.
So what actually did it boil down to? Just like payment? Well, time or
if I could be, I know the first DogPack interview, it was the first time I had like talked about that stuff whenever I would talk about this stuff before, I didn't want to have the weight.
Yeah.
And it didn't always come out that weight because I'm not like a party. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'm not going to be, and then he put me in it. I'm not going to ruin the vibe. Mm-hmm. But when I was talking to DogPack, I wasn't worried about that. I was just kind of, and then so if I was discombobulated or speaking out of emotion, that's because I was.
Yeah.
So if I could give the specifics, you're asking me like the specifics of the disagreement when I left, or?
Yeah.
So I was seeing like, the hey buddy, can we get the $28,000 bonus? Like I see the videos where they're just throwing money at stuff on a goof, and then they just like won't even upload, Yeah. Like and I think I said this in the last thing. Let's just take a little bit of that money instead of just setting it on fire. Just instead of setting it on fire, right? We just give a little bit more to the people who do the work on the videos, who make the videos.
Yeah.
And then I got a severance check for suggesting such a thing. And so I went in there and I said, hey, the Writers Guild says, hello? As soon as I mentioned the name of a union, which, I mean, these people like to boast, and it's not just Jimmy. I like to make it a bigger, wider industry thing because it's like they get to the tippy top and they're like, ha ha ha, look how much money I have. And it's like, you did that because other places have a lot of rules in place where you have to pay people certain amounts, and if you're making a lot more because you're paying these people less, and if you do the math, it's not as impressive. It's more. I digress, but I was just kind of suggesting, what if we just do it a little more legit and safe?
Yeah.
Where everyone is happy with their payment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also, sticking up for other. I was basically on behalf of the writers' team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big team. There was at that point 3 mainstays, 2 people that would come in and out. But I was fighting for on behalf of the writers. I was the most disgruntled, and I was the one who was like, I will leave. I don't care. I will do this and I'll leave. But people did back me up, and I appreciated it. And I think their plan was to get rid of the writers anyway, you know, because they have a different thing now that's worse. So they're like, oh, perfect. We were going to.
I'm going to assume it's like AI. Oh, is it not?
That'd be if Jimmy wrote it, but it's they get like crowdsourcing people from Discord and pay them like $1, a certain amount of dollar, like
Fiverr.com.
Yeah, like literally, it's like I was complaining to make it like a little safer, not safer, a little more livable for the people for like that were there, you know? And they were like, no, what if we just outsource it to people who are happy to be in the room who'll do it for less? Yeah. And I was, oh, that's the trajectory of how they extract the resources. Which, if you do the numbers, that does make more money.
Yeah.
If I spend less and make more, that is math. Good job.
I think the craziest thing as well is like how much money is made on the videos in general, how much money is given away on the videos. But again, we see this in Hollywood as well. Without these team players, without these workers, like the videos would not exist. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's not a bad thing to ask for more money. And it's also not a bad thing to ask for honesty whenever it comes to fucking money in general.
It's also not a bad thing to make sure it is proportional to the contribution, which was all, you know, like I said, I wasn't asking for a random on a goof $28,000 bonus. I probably was asking for less than that, sprinkled out over the course of a year. And there was no phone call to a shell company on my behalf.
Yeah. Well, the thing is as well, like these videos are getting so many fucking views and so much money as well. And again, it's not hard to distribute that fucking money. And we're seeing it again with like the Beast games in terms of $100 million budget. And again, the prize is $5 million, which is great. But where's the rest of the money going whenever the conditions on set are?
They're looking at the catering. Okay, it's not over there. Look at the sleeping bags. What are those Five Below sleeping bags?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, they got 12 toilets.
Yeah.
You don't need to save in the toilet budget. There's other budget, you know?
Well, you had spoken about, there was another worker in your video you were talking about, and he was also given the severance, right, as well?
Yeah. When I say I was sticking up for the writers, you know, it was mostly me and him and the other writer on the team who had since left after that. You know when they talk about like at SNL, when it's so amazing, so like surreal. Oh my God, is that Mick Jagger playing at the after party? And then like Bill Hader and like John Mulaney are over here smoking a cigarette. Like they cut my skit today. You know, that was us going like, you believe this giant pizza bullshit? You know, like the same silly shit, but like the same level of, you know, oh, everyone's making all this money on these t-shirts, huh? Yeah. How about the writers get something? You know, it was like literally the same disgruntledness. And then, that team faded away, but it started fading away when they cut me and that guy.
So wait, severance is a payment with them letting you go, right?
Yeah, they go, oh, what? We're great. We give people wonderful severance, and it's almost like I'm gonna mess this up. A quid pro quo. A quid pro quo.
Because I'm like I assume severance is a thing in the UK as well. I assume it's a global thing. I've just never heard that word before. But again, I've never been in a traditional workspace. So okay.
Severance. I don't think I've worked in a traditional workspace actually. That's the most.
True. Yeah.
Because like with the severance thing, it's basically like, you get severance at some companies that like are part of a contract. You know, sure, if some types of specific termination circumstances, it's in your contract. Yeah. But Jimmy's had it set up in a way. I always want to say like, Jimmy's like, I can't conclude what he said personally or not. I know he's got people that he goes, oh, do this for me, whatever. I can't conclude who said what exactly. But at the MrBeast company, the severance was, oh, this is a crazy severance. What a crazy severance. You'd never say anything bad about us, would you?
Oh, damn.
We gave you that great severance, right? No, we're not telling you to shush. We just gave you a nice severance, that's all.
Damn.
You know? And I'm adding the mafia voice on top, you know? Like
You're saying he didn't say it like that?
He didn't have the... Oh, I'm going to get those comments. He doesn't talk like that. That's not accurate.
Wait, so is severance at its core like a couple weeks payment to kind of like...
The average one would probably be... I guess the average one, I gotten one set of severance. But the average severance is maybe like a month pay or maybe 2 months pay. I think I got... I wonder if the other writer got something else. We didn't talk about it. I think I got at least 10K. And then...
Which is crazy because they could have just given you the money that you were asking for and they would have
That's what... I'm so triggered by that, dude. Oh my God, you just said the thing. Oh, you reached into the recesses of my soul and said, pokey poke. You like that? You said one fist away from the mic? Is that... Okay. Like, yeah, you could take that severance and have the writer... less disgruntled. They just wanted you to leave.
Yeah.
You know, and they wanted you to leave and talk nice. And it is the fact that you said that. They could have just given you the severance, or they could have just given you what you asked for instead of giving you the severance. if it's the same thing and they're painting it this way, like, oh, hey, isn't this nice? Isn't this great? I'm not going to lie. I was over the moon. I said this on the thing. You're going to give me a check and I get to leave. You know, how awesome is that? And the other writer was devastated. Yeah, he was very, very, very upset. And that weighed on me for quite some time. And it wasn't until before this came out where me and him were tight for still to this day.
Yeah.
But we didn't, talk about that instance. And I cried when I talked about it to him then. And then I went on DogPack and I cried when I talked about it to him then. I think I got it out of my system.
How did you connect with DogPack?
I was starting to see the stuff coming out, like, and Jimmy's been in the news since I left.
Yeah.
He was always in hot water, and everyone said, oh, but surely not.
Yeah.
Smoke from this fire every couple of weeks surely must not mean fire, So I'm used to stuff coming out and me going, oh, whatever. And then reporters coming to me and going, what do you think? And I go, I don't know. I haven't been in a while.
Yeah.
But then when it was like the Ava stuff, everyone's talking about like that was the stuff that kind of like was the first crack in the House of Cards. I've mixed those up, but I saw that and wasn't keeping up with it because it's interesting, to see what's coming. I didn't know, like, it wasn't until I started watching the DogPack video. I watched the first 5 minutes and I think everybody had the same, like, I'm trying to think of the right word. They had the same, like, he seems a little, the first 5 and the first one, you're like, what are you doing? He's like under the bed. I remember he's talking about like marketing and I'm like, well, that's marketing. It's reality TV, It's the first 5 and I had to like do something else. I was like, I'll talk about this later. Yeah. And then I watched the rest of it and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, you're talking to some of my friends about it. Talking to some former Beast employees, I'm not. And, that's when, the Delaware hot potato gets dropped to me with, a receipt. But if people were like, oh, if you're gonna say shit like that, you gotta make sure you have receipts. And I said, I didn't, but thank God Jake the Viking provided them for me.
Yeah, true.
Because guys, it's not what you think. It's exactly what he said with one minor discrepancy.
Well, what I will say to you is, considering the DogPack videos and also your own ones, we talked about this a little bit last night. How has it been trying to come to conclusion that the public will have their perception of you regardless of how much you try to like say things that are going on in your life? And we were saying this in terms of like, you can get backlash when you're emotional talking about something, but then if you're not emotional, you can get backlash for not being emotional. Yeah. And if you make jokes, then you get backlash for making jokes. But if you don't make jokes, then it's like, wow, you're making it too serious.
Yeah.
How have you came to terms with that?
Not only that, but it's like with this, everyone was like, oh, after the thing I talk about, I'm blubbering on camera for like 45 minutes. And it's like, well, what do you do? It's like, Jimmy should reach out and give him the thing. So he did the thing that people, but then it's like, does he take it? So I needed it. So I was like, no matter what I did, there was a segment of the internet that was going to be like, dude, that wrong.
Yeah.
I know more than you do. Wrong.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that's been messing me up is I'm a people pleaser. But also I do think it's important that like, if people are going to hold, people accountable who are having massive consequences on an industry I care about.
Yeah.
I don't want people not with me. Hey, gang, whoa, we're all trying to do the right thing here.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, not convince people, but try to, you have concerns, you have questions, you have. So people said my story was inconsistent. I said, oh, well, of course, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
There was a couple of weeks where I was realizing, I can try to say all the things to. Oh, you're just a wall. It was hard for me to like poo somebody's like, because in my head. And most people say, oh, they're cops, don't read those, fuck them. I'm like, that's a person, hey.
Yeah.
Come on,
Well, what's so crazy is this is yet another person I'm speaking to that's saying they're a people pleaser. What is it with y'all bitches? I am the opposite of a people pleaser. Fuck if I don't fucking care. Like,
oh, I care too much. It's a prison. It's a prison.
I don't give a shit. So wait, it's been how long since that kind of first original video now? The same month or so?
The first original, like the first DogPack video?
The first interview you did with him.
Oh, that was, when was that? That was like
over a month ago?
Mid-July we filmed that actually.
Oh, wow. So from then until now, has your perception of comment sections versus people having an opinion changed, or are you still dealing with it?
I didn't have thoughts about comment sections before. Yeah. I think if you go to a comment section, you're so mad. I've never been watching something and gone, oh, oh
Yeah.
no, like do anything else.
Yeah.
Like there's people across 7 videos who've left 50 comments, and I'm like, I don't think I've left 50 nice comments.
They're clocking in.
Yeah, no, it's engagement o'clock, I guess, you know, and it's been. I've always had the background, like the colloquial, the saying, like, oh, you never want to look at the YouTube comment section.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah.
You know, Bo Burnham talks a lot about, you know, like comedians who bomb, you know, it's like, you're not a real comic if you don't get on stage in front of real people and bomb.
Yeah.
And Bo Burnham was like, have you ever had 100,000 people say the meanest thing in the world to you right to your face, you know? And I see that now because I can bomb in front of people all day. I realize I gotta get used to the other stuff. And I'm sure it's the other way around for the other way around.
Well, I mean, as well, I don't know who I said this to, but we are not supposed to have that many people's opinions on things that we do. Like, it's so not normal. So that many, like, direct hate things as well. Like, we're not processed to understand that many people's opinions.
Yeah,
like,
no, and also like the algorithm itself, like I think the algorithm was trying to fuck me a little bit because I was trying to keep up with like, this person watched my thing. Oh, I love this content creator who watched my thing. How surreal is it? So at first I was watching all this like kind of cool coverage because at first it was lovely, right? And then because the algorithm said, oh, you like content like this, which no, at the time it was coming out and I should watch, but now it's like the algorithm goes, oh, you love everything Jake Weddle content. So now I'm just seeing thumbnails and the thumbnails start changing. And it goes like Jake Weddle, biggest crybaby on YouTube. Don't trust Jake Weddle. Don't do this.
That's how they get
and then I'm going, well, let's just hear what is, and then now I'm engaging with the hate stuff. And if like proportionally now I know it's like 90% nice and there's like 10% of the I will never convince these people and it's fine. But for like a week, I only saw those 10 and it looked like, oh, I should just die. Okay, that's, and it wasn't until I had like that moment of too much. I need to step away from the phone. This is not good, which is a blessing. People shit me on their phones as fucking much.
Yeah.
You know, I literally had like a druggy moment, but fucking just ODing on YouTube. And then I did my rehab. I touched some grass. And then like 3 people go, oh, you're Jake Weddle. Love you, dude. Keep up the good. And I was like, oh, people who go outside understand, you know? And then I had to go through that a little bit.
So what was it like getting the support of Rosanna? Because again, a very much so OG YouTuber, the same way you could say about MrBeast. So like, how was that? Because she really swooped in at a time period when kind of like everyone was still very much so Team MrBeast. So
it's so crazy how it switched so quickly, so fast. And I think it partly is because, you know, when you're watching a creator, maybe some more creators that you're there for the personality. You're there to see what they're up to in their day-to-day life, you know? But with Jimmy, you know, it's always the numbers, you know, making sure we have the algorithm retention mechanisms, you know? You're not really, it was quick to be like, oh, I bet, you know, you know what I mean? Like, sure. No one went, oh no, what?
Yeah.
Or if you did, you go, but charity.
Yeah.
But he gave money. If you do bad and give money, good.
Yeah.
You know, the level of
his philanthropy.
His philanthropy, you know? The philanthropist, like a Puff Daddy and Epstein.
Oh my God.
What? I'm just saying they're also philanthropists. That's publicly available. I'm not drawing a...
Why is this what he's talking about? When my question was, what's it like having the support of Rosanna Pansino?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. No.
I
was hanging out with BJ Investigates too much, actually. That's so funny.
You better answer that damn question.
No, you're right. Say it again. I'm ADHD too. What was the question?
What's it like having the support of Rosanna Pansino, quite like an OG YouTuber like MrBeast, you know, during a time period when you kind of really needed it?
Yeah, no, she nailed that question 3 times and I'm going to fuck it up again. With being introduced to the YouTube stuff, I mean, like not as a consumer, but as an industry, because I was watching YouTube since I was a kid. But it wasn't until I was like, oh, this guy's a YouTuber and work with him. Like I'm getting the inside look through him. And I was like, YouTubers are pieces of shit. Oh my God, this was like, I don't want to be in YouTube at all. And then to have people like Rosanna reach out and this everybody like that has been so lovely, just giving me advice. Even the haters, you know, who I DM after and go, oh shit, I just had to talk to you for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like they're giving me advice, you know? And so that has been insane. It feels like, oh, there's adults in the room now. Oh, that's nice. Because literally they hire like 19-year-old PAs over there, you know? It's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and the Oompa Loompas, you know, are barely at it, you know? But, you know, Rosanna was like an adult, you know, with a and I was, oh, that's nice. The adults get it.
Yeah. And also, I think she just had the legitimacy as well of being a creator on the platform that was well respected as well.
Absolutely.
So when you kind of took the break from Beast and then you came back for the solo video, how did that come about? Because that story was fucking rough.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like after I got that off my chest, I felt so good.
Yeah.
Because that weighs on you. You know, actually not how much it was weighing on me because I was like, oh, it's just a thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then the eyes just go. But with that, it was like, I didn't expect that to, I had people, oh my God, the girl I was seeing at the time, she was like, Jake, you're glowing. But I have people be like, DMs every single day. I hope you're okay. Hey, what you went through? I'm so, but that's nice. Meanwhile, I'm like walking on sun. Yeah. I'm like, so like, but the support was lovely. But yeah, when I left, fired, quit, severance, whatever, you stay nice. You know, they got the NDAs, they got the severance, they got the multiple ways of saying, hey, if you'd be good, maybe you come back and play some more hide and seek. You know, you want to play hide and seek again, don't you? Come on. And I got to play hide and seek again. I came back and did a random like throw a hammer at a car. Fucking, I was like and then I did I said this somewhere. They always made me do the videos the main cast didn't want to do. Yeah. You watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I have, yes. Yeah, I did a lot of the Charlie work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ava, Carl, they were like, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, let's get Jake Weddle to do it. And he'll be like, oh, okay, I'll do it. I'm sorry.
And you clocked in.
I clocked in. So I came back and did the 3 days in a maximum security prison video, you know?
Which is
I hated that video when I was
just
there.
like a Mad Libs title.
Well, it's also like making a game out of like the prison industrial complex. You know, like this isn't so bad. Nah, ha, ha. Yeah. And it's like, the being there and working on the stuff that I was working on. I had one of my hater turned friends. He was like, hey, he has a German accent, so I don't want to like do the voice. That's probably the only voice I could do, right?
I was about to say, I beg you not to do that. I beg you not to do that.
It's a German voice.
I beg you not to do that accent here.
So he says to me in the thickest transatlantic accent, he says, how do you, when you're going through all that, you know, like you're seeing all this, how do you live with yourself? Not trying to be an asshole. Yeah. And I was like, you're in like an Instagram voice memo. Yeah. And I said, how? When I saw that there was a 2% chance I could say something I did, and now I feel like I can. You know, because before, that's what that feeling is. It's those, cogs not hitting because something's wrong, and the something that's wrong is, yes, I would like to be in a career. I would like to have this job. I would like to be able to eat food, but also like be able to, I want to be a writer. I want to do YouTube. But if you got to get that by doing this, hey, just don't look away from this one thing. Just swallow your pride. This one, you gotta do that. Just do this. There's people that do that. Yeah, and I don't blame them. You know, I got it's a tough position because when and again, I talk about the financial, I don't want to say coercion, but it's the power imbalance when one person has all the money, one person has no money. Yeah, because you can say, oh, you had the choice, of course, but. People will push themselves really, really hard when the alternative is the life they've been living that is unbearable. Yeah. So if I can crank up the unbearable to the brink of maybe not bearing it, things will, it'll be so good after I do this one thing. And this one thing is, dancing for the guy who's got all the money and he tells you what to do and he says, be thankful that I have.
Yeah. Wait, so for context, the video was... What was the name of it again? Because it changes a couple of times in the pre-production. It was like 100. It was supposed to be like 100 days in solitaire as the clickbait title. I don't know if they ended up going with that. I might have said 30. I don't remember exactly, but I remember when it was pitched to me. It was 100 days in solitary, but you only have to last 30, and we'll be like, oh, you got out at this time. Only 30 is fine, guys. Relax. Don't be like be psycho about it. Yeah. 100. That's only a third of a year. Jeez. So the context is you were in a room? Paint the picture here.
Well, I don't really have to paint the picture because they painted the set right before I got there and I could fucking smell it. Oh my God. You know when you're enclosed in fresh paint fumes, I had some of there was people who would come in and check on me. It was like their job. Hey, make sure he doesn't, get a little too sad in there. That's good. Oh, more 19-year-olds found on the street. They're qualified for that. So one of them said, hey, do you still smell that? And I said, smell what? He said, oh no.
Oh, brittle.
That may or may not. I haven't gotten this checked out, but I could have a little bit of brain damage. I don't know. From inhaling paint fumes and insomnia, that can tear things in your brain. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not a doctor. I might have brain damage.
So wait, you were in a room and they gave you like
like a bed on the floor. It looked like on paper, and this is one of the things I would love to get into, like the main through line that kind of permeates a lot of other people's stories, the Beast games, is that you're writing stuff that is good for the algorithm. This is fantastical. This is funny. This is silly. You know, the writers, as somebody who was a part of the creative process, it wasn't really our job to worry about production. We were just go balls to the walls with it, you know? And at MrBeast, that was kind of the vibes. We can do anything. The writers go nuts in there. And every other job I worked at after that was, Jake, can you please write what is possible for the production team to do? We're not MrBeast.
Yeah.
Every single place was, Jake, please keep it in the realm of possibility. And over there it was nothing's off limits. And for worse, because now the production team is like, where am I going to get 100 tons of cotton candy right now? Like those kind of like, what do you mean I need an alligator by Tuesday? Like that's insane to get that. And then where is it? How come I can't have a house made of chocolate tomorrow? Hey, it's like, and the writers are like, look, we're not the production team. Okay. Where's the writing team? Okay. Relax. It's not our job to figure it out. But with the implication that, this will be funny. That's what they're worried about. They're not worried about safety. Yeah. No one like tests it. You know, they got like the safety guy on staff, and it's just, it's North Carolina, so it's like a guy with like a bucket. Yeah. We don't know what's in the bucket. He's just there. He's like, hey, I'm a doctor. Yeah. That's a hyperbole. That's not literally. There was no guy with the bucket. I'm just getting ahead of the lawyers. But the problem with that is like for the solitary thing or for the Beast games or really anything, you don't inject the humanity. Yeah. You don't go, what would we do? That'd be so funny, huh? But you put a real person in that situation. Yeah. You know, I know the 52 games, his story, was he sat on a toilet seat for like 36 hours. And that's just already parody of, that was 36 hours on the toilet seat. But that was like a really sad story because like before that he had to bury his grandma, and that's sad. And then he has to show up on set and be good on camera. And he's sitting there for like 30 hours. I don't know how long. And his ass just congeals to the thing. And then you have to rip him off, his ass getting off of his. God. And it's like, that's not that's like not as bad as some others. It's different. There's different kinds of emotional stress, different kinds of physical, stress. But then you look at Beast games and it's like the same thing. Oh, let's make them do this and this. That'd be good for the thing. Well, they're leaving on stretchers, and when you don't factor in the humanity of it, the safety of it, making sure you don't factor in like the workers, economic position. You want to make sure like the reason I keep bringing up the Writers Guild is because they were striking about making sure they get their wages. And I was sitting here on the sidelines over at YouTube like, all right, if Netflix is 15 years behind, see you guys when I'm 57. Yeah. And that I want my industry to be viable for the work I want to do. And if Jimmy and all of them are going to brag about how much more money they make than Netflix and streaming, then maybe that excess money should go to the teams that you exploit. Yeah.
And I mean, again, just to give context.
I'm doing people, a lot. Sorry.
In terms of the video that I was speaking about that Jake did on his own, I mean, you spoke about the fact that obviously the challenge was like, how long can you last in this conditions and stuff?
So there's like goofy items in there, like the ice cream machine and this hot tub.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's funny. He was given an ice cream machine, And they were like, get Jake whatever he wants. That was the thing. Whatever food he wants, he gets. And I remember thinking, okay, I'll get whatever food I want. And that was probably some good, some bad. I had a lot of smoothies because I thought in my head that'd be good for you. And then he was like, get something crazy. I was like, I'm going to I think he told me to get a lobster one time. And I was like, I don't want a lobster, but it was like good for, and I'm sitting here like eating this Dear God. I actually have a photo of it. The photo of that DogPack had that I still had. I was eating a lobster that Jimmy made me eat. Just eat the lobster because it's funny. I am that Meat Canyon video.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Also though, lights kept on.
That was
sleeping time.
Which that's another thing. It's just shut your eyes, Yeah. And I would love to get more into this because the stage lights. It's like it's not like just like a light like on right now. It's like this. They were on the ceiling. Each one of them was like 4 foot, 5 foot. Like square unit, and they're all going. God! And it's like when you got all of them on you all the time, they go close your eyes. Okay, when you close your eyes and you're still looking at the sun. Yeah. So there's still stimulation. Even if I put a blanket over your head. Oh, that's still wow! It's going through that many things, huh? What else can I? And then someone said, "What if you get a sleep mask?" maybe that would have helped. Somebody in the production team could have said something. You know, maybe there's protocols for, whatever I would ask for things that would make it easier for me to stay in there longer. Like, hey, can we do this? They go, oh, ask for something else. Oh, what about this? Oh, not that either. Well, can I have Domino's pizza? There he is. We can get him some pizza. Sure. You know, it was. Yeah.
So how did that end? Because obviously, how many days did you do?
11.
Which is fucking crazy within itself.
Yeah.
How did that end?
It got really, really bad, really like exponentially, because that's what happens with insomnia. Yeah. Is, because I still have insomnia today, and I got a lot of data. I'll tell you what happens. You go one day, you've all done an all-nighter. Yeah. We can handle it, If you do two, whoa, dude, you're probably pretty beat, Yeah, day 3 is when you start to, we got to get, yeah. And, I was in there for 11 days. And it's not like I got no sleep. If I can get an hour or two once in I don't know how long a day is without a clock. And
did you have no perception of time in there?
I did it first because I had a clock in there. And that was one of the items I had to get rid of at some point. I had a perception of time, a photo of my family. Real decision. Yeah. Photo of my family. Yeah. And it wasn't even like a clear photo, which is my fault. Because they blew it up and they're like, oh, it's a blurry photo of his fucking, it is a blob of my mom. Oh, I can't wait to see you, mom. Fucking blurry ass. So yeah, I'm making choices like that. While Jimmy's like, just eat the lobster just do the Rubik's Cube thing. Based on those things, I know what they want for the video. Yeah. And they go, you could have said no. Every time I wanted to make a decision that would have gone against a quality video, Jimmy would go, hey, you're in house. Do what we want. And I would go, okay, that's probably what they wanted me. Just do because you'll play along. I don't have to be weird and tell you to do something. I have to.
Well, also the damn fucking running thing as well was crazy.
I do the Rubik's Cube thing, and I'm dyslexic and have ADHD. I was never. Oh, this would be fun. I haven't told this one. Oh, this is fun. We tried to do like an Ocean's 11 on that Rubik's Cube.
What does that mean?
I'll tell you. So there was like the cameras on me everywhere, right? And I can't do the thing. So he goes, he'll have to just keep doing it until he does it. Eventually he'll do it. That's exactly what he thought about the Rubik's Cube. And I'm going, I have 2 disabilities that make me unable to do the thing. I said, can I not? I'll do the next one. And he goes, do the thing. Because it's one of those retention mechanisms. Yeah. We start here, come back to this. It's not rocket science, but it's white wall, colorful cube. Yeah. Like it's children's media, it's the most bare bones to the core. I don't want to digress, but let me get back into the heist. So we're trying to, how do we, if Jimmy's not going to let us, let him not do it, and I would say us, the idea you couldn't speak to anybody is solitary completely. What made me go bananas wasn't not being able to talk to anybody. Yeah. Every once in a blue moon, you get a camera guy. You get people who are, there's their job to come in and check on me. There's a slit. People go, hey, Weddle, you good? I can go, no, they can good.
God, they genuinely had you in prison.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But we're trying to figure out, like, well, if he's not going to give us the option, Someone like the one camera op who's... I can't tell you how many people over there were like, please get him out. Yeah. Like the sympathy and we don't like that Weddle's in this position. There were people behind the scenes who I could name if they weren't scared. Yeah. Who were begging to get me out. They were like, let's do a heist. If we're not gonna, not let him. So we're like, we pull the stickers off and rearrange them. That's too easy. He'll figure that out. How do we? If we break it and put it back together, it's not going to work either, So we had a time if we knew when, because we knew when the camera ops were switching SD cards out. Yeah. So it's literally like timing when these cameras go out, doing a switch, and there's like one guy, there's one like Rain Man camera op, who's like, I know how to do it. just slide it to me. He's,
oh my God, really?
Yeah, and we had to do it when the things were, done. I also had to like practice on the cameras, like pretending like I'm knowing how to do it. Seeing if we can like at least, if we're not can't do it, maybe we can make it a storyline. Yes. Maybe I get caught and it's all in good fun. That was early on. That was when it was like, oh, we're doing a little fun video, day 1. Oh, not bad. Day 2 is we're doing a little heist. It's fine. And then it got to, I'm starting to not know times of day, starting to not know, like that's when, the pressure's on and the fun of the video is everyone's starting to be like, this is getting serious.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how did it end? I'm taking in the information about how not being able to do Rubik's Cube. I have to do Rubik's Cube. Okay, fine. Even I asked no, but the pressure to do that was still there. Or even like take the clock away this time. They were always kind of nudging me. What would be a better choice for the video? Oh, it'd be cool if you did this. Yo, it's your choice though. It's your choice though. There was always, it would be cool if you did this. And they're the guys who are going to
that fucking sucks as well, because it literally is just dangling. And then people keep being like, well, why didn't people leave? And they've been saying that with Beast Games as well. And it's like, that's such a one-dimensional way of fucking looking at it.
You thought a little bit. You had one thought. Yeah. You could have 2, 3, 4, maybe even your whole life, some thoughts. Just think a little harder, that's all. Yeah. About like the implication of, pressure. Then if you do it, then you leave. Great. Mm-hmm. That's cool. You did that. Other people, you make different decisions. Other people have different, feelings, thoughts, passions, things they want to do with their life. I love when a comment says, I know the correct answer and I went to school for this. Like, okay, sure. You're a genius on that. Awesome. I was just there.
So wait, when you left, you had said in your video that he like came in and he was like acting so whatever way he was speaking, and it was like all like bullshit or whatever. What was it like? Because obviously he's fucking pissed that he didn't get the video he wanted.
He's mad.
But he's prioritizing the fact of like the clickbait over literally the fact that someone is actually doing this.
Yeah, and I'm like literally unable to walk, like tears in the face, which what else is new? But like after the treadmill thing, like, I think that wasn't a thing that like was stressed enough or like.
Well, for context, tell people what the treadmill.
The treadmill thing was. So we're bouncing around a lot. Sorry, I do that. The Adderall's wearing off. Can you tell? I gotta. It was like one of the last challenges that made me, because I was vocalizing, hey, maybe I'd want to stay in longer if we did this because I'm not feeling too hot. I'm telling people I don't know how long I can. I'm planting the seeds of I'm gonna want to get out soon. Yeah. And I'm planting those seeds really hard, hoping they grow fast. And when he comes in, I'm already sleep deprived, which apparently that's the equivalent of, not you shouldn't drive sleep deprived because it's comparable to being inebriated. And on top of that, and some paint fumes. Hey, let's make this guy make a decision about his body. Keep making him do that. So he comes in and wakes me up. Don't let me get 2 hours of sleep, Jimmy, please. He comes in, wakes me up, and says, hey, you're gonna do the treadmill thing. And inebriated for the lack of a better term, because of the sleep deprivation and the paint fumes and the exhaustion. So I don't say no. I just go in my head. I couldn't see none of that. Yeah, and I couldn't see none of that. So I guess this is what we do. You broke me. Yeah. I guess we'll do that. This is what we'll do. And I do it. I didn't complain about it. I almost restarted. I did.
So what exactly was the bit? Like being on the treadmill and like, what was the context of it? Like,
it was going to be like 10 seconds worth of footage. It was going to be like, here, it wasn't it funny we made him do that? Like that's what was going to be the final.
Stupid and pointless. But also whenever I covered this originally, I was like, who's enjoying this content? Like,
there's footage of me saying that on the treadmill.
Like, this is catered towards children. You could literally just fucking dangle something in front of them and they would be interested. Like, why do you have to literally torture someone in order for children to be, again, have you seen what they watch? Like dancing fucking coconuts and stuff. Like, this is so beyond the point. It's like such a power thing. And again, I just didn't understand when you originally said it, and still now, like the content that he makes, he could literally make the easiest fucking content that doesn't exploit people like this, but he's choosing to. Kids don't fucking care what they're watching.
Yeah, no, they don't think, they'll either think it's fake or they'll think it's real. It's weird what they choose, what's fake and what's real. Mm-hmm. And, I was a little upset because I was kind of thinking about this in real time. What's surreal? I saw like a body language expert like breakdown like my interview.
I've had some of them on myself. I don't know how I feel about them.
Wild that is. So first of all, he said it was 100% authentic. So I think they're great. I think they were.
Was it Observe?
Well, it was like, I don't remember who it was off the top of my head.
Was he bald?
There was like some kind of lighting situation where it was kind of like dark in the back with some color lighting in the front.
Probably Observe. He's one of the main ones. Yeah.
Is he bad or good?
I don't associate with him because I've heard things about him. I need to look into them. So I'm just going to say that I don't stand by him. But he's made videos on me as well.
Oh my God. Oh gosh. Did he analyze your body language?
He's analyzed my body language whenever I've spoken about Colleen and stuff like that. He's always said that I wasn't lying. So thanks, sir.
He said the same thing about me. So whatever he did sucks, but he might be really good at analyzing body language.
Well,
at least he's not.
I mean,
you can't say anything definitively on the internet, or someone would be like, "Got him."
Well, the thing is, with body language experts, I've always just kind of not really believed them at all.
Pseudoscience-y.
Because again, in terms of, regardless of how someone moves or how they look or whatever, literally how I'm talking right now, I'm talking to the fucking floor. That would be deemed as me lying to you.
Or maybe it's interpreting it as you're feeling like reserved. You're feeling like because honestly, when I was sitting here, I was feeling like you were bringing up some stuff, and I was goofy. I was real goofy. I'm still goofy, but I was getting a little more fucking. Oh, what's up with the treadmill? Okay, what's up with the treadmill?
Well, the thing is as well, that's really why I just don't I really don't believe in them, if I'm being honest. Because I just think you can't take something and apply it to fucking everyone.
Yeah.
As well with body language things. So yeah, in closing this, when he ended the video and came in.
Yeah, I'll analyze body language, sure. So Jimmy was like this, but I was guessing. So yeah, when you said he's pissed, but has to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Then when I said that he almost said, like, that was the concern, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when the Lunchley thing. I don't remember if it was you or Ro or someone talking about it. Like, oh, well, Lunchables, it's such a big market and it's so unhealthy. Is what you're telling on yourself. You know how big that market is. You know what I mean? It's like, he knows where his priorities lie. So when he came in, and this is another thing about manipulation, and this is something that I wanted to talk about because, I've been doing some videos about this, and it's not like the people's opinions change on a goof. I think when people receive, new information, new things happen, new developments, you're supposed to factor that in, and you'll change the equation because the conclusion's different now.
Yeah.
With time. And when I did there's parallels between this moment I'm about to talk about and the when I received the 50 that was going to be 190, but I asked for less. Mm-hmm. When he brought on all my friends, the people at the company that I loved, that like me, mm-hmm. and she was just kind of sitting in the chair, doing I gotta do this. He can't look at me because they're all looking at me with sincerity and concern. And I don't think he's capable. Yeah. I can't show him a fix.
Yeah.
No! A big circle around me, fucking arrow. We love clickbait. But so as soon as it was his turn, well, Jimmy, you want to, and then
did they all talk, and then it was
so it was all them saying, we want to make sure you're good, want to make sure you're okay, doing the whole make sure you're feeling better, and then the Darth Vader chair opens, Jimmy turns around, and he does the very evident that you don't want to make that one time, another take, cut that up. Last thing we want you to do is we want to make sure your mental health is good, It's almost like he's like, I gotta say this. This is what I'm supposed to make sure your mental health is, he's reading off the thing. And the fact that he brought in my friends, mm-hmm. It's like when you're trying to coax somebody into a thing, what does that person want?
Yeah.
I wanted to be on camera. That's why they told me I was going to be on camera, and then I wasn't, They said, Jimmy tried to offer me money so many other times to stay for stuff. I was just telling Ro the story. I was captain of the Improv group.
Oh, really?
We talked about this. Oh, really? She forgot already? She forgot already? I'm so tired. I thought I was going to get you, and then I got
about to say it didn't even work, you motherfucker.
So good. That was karma. I was like, hot, fuck, gotcha. We talked about that one thing that you texted I'm not going to bring up. You know what I'm talking about? You said, don't bring that up.
What did I say? You can bring
Have you met Dawson yet?
Oh, yeah.
I said, have I met Dawson?
That was really embarrassing. I was so locked into speaking to so many different people at once, and I messaged you, and I was like, have you met Dawson DogPack yet? I fucking covered the videos where you have had interviews.
What if I was like, no, what's he like?
And I was also at the bar when
I was also way too hard on it. I thought it was hilarious. I was way too hard.
Damn, this motherfucker won't let this one go.
You're right. I held on to it. I beat the horse until it's dead, Jake. It's dead. You can get off the horse. That joke landed. All right. When it's a podcast, if you don't laugh, it's a bomb. So I have to make sure, because otherwise it's an empty room and I'm just doing bits in a void.
I'm going to add a laugh track in there.
Oh, that's double-edged sword there. That's going to be funny sometimes.
So then everyone will know when to laugh.
Dude, I love Big Bang Theory so much. I'm trying. There's like 4 Big Bang Theory.
I can't watch Friends because of the laugh track anymore.
You know, they're all dead, right?
No.
You want to, yeah, I mean, you read that on the internet, you know, but you think about it. They're all like, those were recorded in like 1955, all those laugh tracks.
Oh, the laugh tracks. I thought you meant the Friends, and I went, no, only one of them is.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, I was gonna, don't do it. And awesome.
I was at the, I was heartbroken. I was at the bar when that news dropped, and the DJ literally stopped to make an announcement, and I went, wow, this is fucking crazy. They also did that when the Queen died as well, and whenever Prince Charles, like, the bars would like stop, and they would announce the news, and then the beat would drop again. It was fucking crazy.
Matthew Perry is our fuck.
It was crazy.
Don't you speak ill will of our Queen. What were we talking about before that?
About how he ended that video, like how that saga
Yeah. So that happened when, you know, this is what I was kept at the improv group. We come back. And I was on set for the dumpster diving video, you know, again, the Charlie videos. And I was supposed to go to improv rehearsal. I told them when I had to leave. I said, I'm the captain. I must go. I must go to improv. I get out of the dumpster. I go do improv. That is my vibe. And they go, we want to keep filming so we can, you know, make sure it's like the same daylight hours, which is a fair thing for production. But I told them ahead of time, if you want me in this video, this is my heart out. I told them that. And they were like, we'll give you $1,000 to stay. And I said, I have to go to the improv group.
Yeah.
He goes, 2,000. I was at that improv rehearsal like, you guys don't care about improv like I do. I just became a C player.
Not the goddamn C player.
Oh, C players unite, brother. I love a C player. We love work-life balance. I want to see my family.
Wait, so obviously that video ended up ending and didn't even come out, but he redid it with a different person, which is fucking crazy.
Every other solitary video that they did was so much less aggressive than mine. And I'm watching going, what the hell? That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Fucking, oh God. Like the second guy they did it was another like in-house guy, which again, they can't do that with a fan. It's another like editor, I think.
Yeah.
And the other 2 people, it's, you know, Bailey, he was an in-house editor. I think, I don't know too much about her. I was long gone before that video again came out. So, you know, I don't have that much tea. I gave you all my tea. I'm out of tea. But you know, they get the in-house people. They made it a little, they learned what not to do, how not to make it too crazy.
Yeah.
But they, you know, they got the bang with their buck on that trial run. You know, let's work out the kinks this time, you know?
Well, how do you think, my final question about MrBeast is, how do you think Beast Games is going to go? Because in every video I've made on it, my ending statement has always been like, is this show just going to come out? And like, because when it comes out, the news stories that we're seeing in the news cycle and the people we're we're literally getting articles where people are like 16 employers, like all these stories are going to re-come out again when the show comes out, and there's going to be context in the footage. So as being in it at one stage, how can you see this going with the show? So
I want to talk about that. And then I do want to talk about one thing about, you know, the fact that like the improv group thing, like why that was so like, why I became a C player. That's why he brought my friends out later.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't, I didn't care about money. I showed him many times, you can't buy with money. I do like my friends.
Yeah.
And so there's multiple times where he kind of dangled my friends in front of me because money wasn't what motivated me. Yeah. I didn't speak up because I cared about my friends. And when this is the one thing I wanted to, you know, because I did say publicly, hey, I called Jimmy, or you know, he called me. I was at a pizza place and we talked briefly. It felt like I had other things to do. And I think in hindsight, because it happened so fast and you want to analyze it, he said, hey, I don't want to name the names. That's so funny. He said, hey, me, you, blank, 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 and blank. We're all going to get lunch again. At the time I was like,
Lunchly?
No. He didn't say lunch. He didn't say lunch. He said, we'll get like a bite, you know, get like a bite, you know, of you know, cheese product and prime and lead. And no, he didn't. He was working on lunchly at the, okay. But he mentioned my friends again and said, hey, next time you're in town, man. I don't want to hang out with Jimmy.
Yeah.
I want to hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
I still love those guys. So I did that video maybe a little more positive than I would have.
Yeah.
Because he knew, oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Because it did sound nice in that moment. And then a few days went by, I went, he did it again.
Yeah.
And that made me feel really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to before we got on to the final
course.
thing, that was just, that felt important for me to say.
Yeah. I think, that's fair as well. And I think
I know out of the 50%, he named 4 people. I know 2 of those guys are not trying to have lunch with me again. That's fine. Again.
Damn, you missed out on a lunchly date.
No, I want to get the pizza and smear it on the, get the sauce.
But MrBeast, if you want to invite me to a lunchly date, I'm there. I hear there's an opening. But yeah, what can you see happening with the show when it comes out?
Honestly, like the fact that it hasn't stopped, it's still going is wild. And what I've kind of gathered from all this is how segmented, bubbly echo chamber. It almost sounds like a cliche. Oh, duh, Jake, of course, echo chamber.
Yeah.
But like, the way that I was able to, this little bubble of hate. I thought it was the world. That's like the bubble. Or like some people, like I remember like seeing how other, like the general reaction to stuff is, but the hate pockets, think, or the good, there's so many like blind spots everybody has. For example, the Dan Schneider thing. Mm-hmm. YouTubers were talking about that for like 10 years, and then the documentary comes out. It goes, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like we're
Shout
doing
out Alexa Nicholas. Love you, babe.
No, for real. There were so many people that were doing like investigative journalism way ahead of mainstream media, way ahead of streaming. And I think it's the same thing's happening now to where like, I'm not like, I'm sure, I've talked to like some, like NBC, all those, but the fact that it's not like, there's still people who have no idea.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, me and you were like, you got the studio with the lights and doing like the full, as if it's over already.
Yeah.
Some people, it's going to be like a year, 2 years before they even hear about it.
Yeah.
And that's when, I think it's going to be all of that coming to a head and then hitting at the same time. I don't know if it'll release, but I think there's going to be the thing that makes everybody, not just little bubbles at different times, but everyone's going to come at the same time and go, whoa. Yeah. And then everyone's going to have all the pieces at once. And after that, well, I cannot wait to see, but I think that's what's happening. And I would love to see when that bubble pops.
I think eventually, I believe that there's going to be a documentary before the show comes out.
Oh, dude. If not before, then same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's like the 2 Fire Festivals.
Oh my God, yeah.
We got the actual games and the behind the scenes. Oh, that's so funny.
What I will say is, so you're out in LA now until the 18th or 19th, you said, right?
Yeah.
So what's your ideal that you're trying to hit out this trip whenever it comes to comedy, and then specifically for the future? Because I'm sure you'll be out in LA again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the one of the best things, I love traveling so much. I haven't been to the West Coast. I've been here since today, and I'm on cloud 9. It's so fun. I'm over here chatting up with the Uber drivers. But
it'll break you soon. Don't worry. LA will break you soon.
You haven't seen the things that have almost broke me. Oh, you're telling me it's a crowd full of treadmills? It's a surrealist nightmare I had once. But I think my goals here are, I have so many things to do, so many things to like prepare for. I have more things I can fill up with. I think every collab that I have on the books, make sure I am prepared, make sure I am doing that well, and make sure I am on top of those things, get more of those things. I have some shows on the books. I would like to get more. Mm-hmm. The networking from that to then, like, you have to go to one show, and then that show gives you leads 2 more shows, and then do the he tells 2 friends, he tells 2 friends, cheese of that until you can get the rest of the week filled up. Basically, I have so many opportunities and resources, and that's going to come with challenges, and I need to just get in there, take this 1 in a million chance. The stars have aligned to weirdly just. Oh, you want to have this resource for this coincidental time. You'll be in LA for this resource. And I see the opportunities here. I'm going to do the best I can.
Yeah.
And if I do that, then whatever algorithm momentum I can grab, I will try to keep. Yeah. And then hopefully we can do more shows and keep doing what I've been doing for 10 years. Yeah. I took like a couple breaks, 10, 13, something like that. I've been doing it since I was 14. I'm 27.
I was about to say, since 14, you've been locked in.
Locked in.
All right.
Locked in. That's not apropos. I said locked in. I said locked in. What's that big mouth bit? Locked in. Locked
I've never seen that show.
It's fine.
I've never seen it. My friend loved it though. All right, I'm going to ask you to do what I've done with everyone. Sure. Which is you look directly into that camera and you tell people.
Oh, is it that one? I thought I was looking in the. All right.
Well, I mean, at least people got a perfect side profile.
Can we try again? Here, let's go again. I remember what I said. That's the one? That one? All right, let's go again. We got 2 more. All right.
If you look in here, tell them where to find you, social medias, etc.
Okay.
And also, you should tell them, give me open mic recommendations.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so.
Lock in and look at that.
That one. Yes. Okay.
Locked in.
One fist. All right. I'm on Instagram at Jake_Weddle. I'm on YouTube at just Jake Weddle. I just got back on Twitter. Apparently, there were some people who were pretending to be me. That wasn't me. I'm Jake the Jester 21 now. But there was like 2 other guys that weren't me. But I'm just telling you that's me. Those other guys weren't. Website, just JakeWeddle.com. Patreon, I'm at patreon.com/JakeWeddle. If you just search things and add Jake Weddle, I don't have like a silly, goofy name, you know? I just put my face on there. And I have show dates in November. Those are going to be in the Southeast. That's going to be like North Carolina. We're going to try to add some Atlanta, DC. We're going to try just stand-up scenes, a little dry.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any recommendations for LA, for New York, where I live, North Carolina, where I'm from, or any other place in the world, tell me you can get me on that show and I'll be there.
Well, everything will be linked down below. I appreciate you for coming on. Muckers, I'm going to love and leave you. Everything will be linked. Give us recommendations, and let's see how many days before LA breaks Jake.
I'm breaking LA. I will say thank you so much for having me, and thank you to you and every single other person in this industry who has made me just feel loved and welcomed, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you and everybody else. Thank you so much.
Of course, and you have the muckers behind you as well, and they're some nasty bitches, and for them to be on your side...
I got the muckers on my side. I love these nasty bitches. Nasty bitches are my favorites.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Jake, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I will see you all very soon. Goodbye.